The 2018 Masters was dominated by young players from the United States and Europe, with Patrick Reed emerging victorious on Sunday. The 27-year-old Texan edged fellow Americans Ricky Fowler and Jordan Spieth to the green jacket, while there were also top 10 finishes from European trio Rory McIlroy, Jon Rahm and Henrik Stenson. As we close in on what is set to be another pulsating Ryder Cup at Le Golf National in France in September, Sportsmail assesses which players could make up the European and American teams. Europe: Justin Rose. The 37-year-old has 3 wins in the last 6 months and managed to find 12th place finish at Augusta, currently the world number 5 and safely within the crucial top 4 European points ranking, so a shoe-in to be in France. Tommy Fleetwood seems like a pretty safe bet to make the European team for the first time after a sensational 2017 saw him capture the season-long race to Dubai and climb into the top 20 of the official world golf ranking. Tyrrell Hatton: if Rose is comfortably in the crucial European points ranking spaces, then Hatton is immovable. The 26-year-old is atop the standings by a country mile, and victory at the Italian Open in November 2017 cemented his position even further. Alex Noren: the coming man in European golf, and so close to a big win in America this year on several occasions. He failed to make the cut at Augusta, but a steady run of form between now and September should see him make the team. Paul Casey is enjoying somewhat of a resurgence in recent months. He won recently in Florida, holding off Tiger Woods, and played superbly around Augusta on Sunday to finish T17. Ross Fisher is the closest to dropping out of the pivotal top 4 spots in the European points rankings. A member of the 2010 victorious European team at Celtic Manor, Fisher enjoyed some strong finishes at the World Golf Championships last year. Rory McIlroy: Europe's star man. It is unfathomable to think McIlroy will not be in France in September. He ran out of steam at Augusta on Sunday and ended up finishing 6 shots behind Reed, but remains 7th in the world with a win at the Arnold Palmer Invitational last month in his trophy cabinet. Sergio Garcia: last year's Masters champion had a title defense to forget last weekend when he scored a barely believable score of 13 on a par 5. Garcia remains in the world points top 4 and will be an inevitable inclusion. Jon Rahm: another winner this year in the next big thing in golf, but his fiery temperament has let him down in majors so far. Managed an admirable 4th place finish at Augusta, but will his heated attitude prove costly at the Ryder Cup? Rafa Cabrera Bello: one of the best ball strikers in Europe, he is learning how to win and wowed America at the Ryder Cup at Hazeltine in 2016. Managed a win in the Scottish Open last July and is definitely in the hunt for a space. Thomas Pieters: the Belgian is either feast or famine. Finished in a tie for 4th on his Masters debut 12 months ago but couldn't make the cut this time around. Pieters also had an impressive showing at Hazeltine. Henrik Stenson: his form is also erratic, but the 2016 Open champion is capable of anything and his experience could prove to be crucial. Finished tied for 5th at the Masters and will fancy challenging in the year's remaining majors. USA: Justin Thomas won the last major played before the Masters, the USPGA, and has another 3 titles since then to confirm him as the game's hottest player right now. He is battling to become world number 1 and it looks a matter of when, not if, he will climb to the top. Dustin Johnson: Thomas rival for the world number 1 spot. He looked unbeatable last year before falling down some stairs and putting himself out of the Masters. On his return to Augusta, Johnson managed tied 10th finish. Jordan Spieth: he has had putter troubles and no wins this year but played brilliantly at Houston 2 weeks ago, and his round on Sunday was an example of what he can do. A certainty for Paris. Bubba Watson has put a torrid 2017 behind him with 2 big wins this year, most recently at the World Match Play where he looked all but unstoppable. Always prone to volatility, but if Bubba has his head screwed on, he's a force of nature. Brooks Koepka is currently sat 5th in the Americans' qualification standings. The reigning U.S. Open champion missed the Masters because of the wrist injury and it remains to be seen whether it will have fully healed before September. Patrick Reed: the latest Masters champion after he managed to hold off the charges from Spieth and Fowler on the final day. His rivalry with McIlroy in Hazeltine was thrilling and he'll be hopeful of renewing that classic once again in September. Phil Mickelson: at 47. He's in his best form in years after winning the WGC in Mexico and showing newfound length off the tee, even at his ripe old age. A Ryder Cup stalwart, Phil the Thrill will surely be in France. Matt Kuchar lies 7th in the USA ranking list and the perennial major tournament bridesmaid finished outside the top 20 at Augusta. Brian Harman is the closest to dropping outside the top 8 guaranteed qualifiers. Finished joint 2nd at the US Open last year and scored a big victory at the Wells Fargo Championship in May 2017. Ricky Fowler is currently outside the top 8 qualification spots, but he is the best player yet to win a major. Although his recent form has been inconsistent, he seemed to steady the ship at Augusta and will hopefully kick on in the coming months. Kevin Kisner also outside the automatic qualification spots, but his runner-up finish to Watson at the World Match Play makes him a strong bet for a captain's pick. Match play is key to a Ryder Cup victory, and Kisner's recent one-on-one form makes him a contender for the team. Gary Woodland has one win this year at the Phoenix Open, but that's all there has been to shout about. Missed the cut at Augusta and will need to step up his form if he is to make it to France.